Hello, viewers. Welcome to Hila-P Sports and Entertainment TV. We are back again. This is a midweek review. CBN, you're welcome to the show.
It's a pleasure.
CBN, based on what happened right there in the Premier League last weekend, we will be starting with Crystal Palace beating Burnley, Brentford rather, right there in London. It was a London derby, and at the end of the day, Palace came up top, which we expected.
We all expected them
to
get the three
but
points.
I was expecting Brentford to be able to give them none of their money.
Yeah, of course. We thought they were going to at least make it more difficult for Crystal Palace, but unfortunately it wasn't going to be, and Crystal Palace went home with the whole 3 points and a very comfortable win for them.
Yeah. Okay. Then Nottingham Forest, I had to, be able to stay at home, dig it right there to be able to draw 2-2 with Manchester United.
I think it's one of the shocker of the weekend because everybody expected them
Man U to beat Tottenham. Yes.
Yeah. But Nottingham Forest came prepared. In fact, Man U had to equalize in its first minute or so.
After scoring the first two.
Yes.
But then quick succession of scoring of 2 goals, and Man U had to now say, okay, let us see. But I love that Ahmad goal. It was a very, very nice goal.
Yeah, it was a very nice goal, and they needed it. But it was not enough because I'm very sure they came for the 3 points.
Yes.
Having beaten, winning the last 2 matches in the Premier League, they were expected to get the whole 3 points in that game. But Nottingham Forest said no, and I think it's kudos to Sean Dyke. Yeah. So we will still have to wait and see what happens next.
Okay, and the league leaders at the moment, they have been doing very well. They have been doing fine. Going to Burnley and beat them 2-0.
Yeah, Arsenal is they are just unplayable at the moment.
Definitely,
they are just beating everybody, and they are not considering goals. I mean, they are not conceding goals at all because their defense. I think their defense is one of the best defense
in the world at the moment.
Pair of Gabriel and Saliba, they are just among the best in the world
at the moment.
So,
but CBN, are you seeing that? Like now, I'm looking at Arsenal as it stands now, Saliba and Gabriel. I'm hoping, I'm praying for them. I'm just wishing them well. Let none of them not pick
any injury
because if anyone pick injury, I think. I don't see Masquerade.
I don't think there's a
covering up by the way because Masquerade just came in, from Villarreal. I don't see him, replacing either of
any of
Gabriel or
Saliba.
But
they'll just have to find a way.
But I stand say Arsenal, the league is Arsenal to lose.
Exactly, it's theirs to lose, and it will be very bad if Arteta does not win this league. I'm very sure.
We have known them to always bottle.
Yeah, but this one, I think this one is different.
They can't do that at the moment because they squad depth. They have squad depth because what really has been affecting Arsenal all these years. Okay, me say the last 3-4 years is because of that squad depth. When 1 or 2 key players goes injured, others cannot be able to withstand the pressure. But now even the players who are injured at the moment, that's now banging us and they're scoring and they're not conceding. That's like you said. That's the special one at the moment. They're not conceding a goal. The clean sheet. This is the 10th clean sheet so far.
They are very strong in all departments. Like every unit in the club right now is well secured. So if they continue this way,
I think nobody is stopping them even in the Champions League.
Exactly. Even in Champions League, as well.
Brighton dismantled Leeds United by 3-0. We expected that.
Yeah,
in the happen, but we never expected it's going to be that 3-0 without Leeds even scoring a goal.
Yeah, we never. Nobody expected the match to end that way, 3-0. Yeah. But yes, we expected Brighton to beat them because these are like 2 middle table teams, and it's not like any of them is flying at the moment. But this Brighton was playing at home, so we expected them to beat them, but not by 3-0.
Okay, now this particular game had to sack Victor Pereira at the end of the day, and Fulham had to beat Wolves 3-0. After that game, I think it was enough because we were discussing last weekend.
I think
if Pereira can be able to survive.
Yeah, it was long overdue.
Yes.
I think the owner of the club or the board or whoever that had the responsibility of
returning
and sacking him has really given him enough time.
Seriously,
I think they were
seriously. You have fed in 10 games of, like, we're not talking about the cups, but at the moment in 10 games in the Premier League,
he has failed to win a single match.
Only just 1 draw.
only just one
I
draw,
guess
it's too bad. It was long overdue.
No.
And I think I think he should be grateful to the owners for actually giving him that enough time to
be able to
solve the problem. But he was not able to do that.
Okay, another London derby at the stadium at Tottenham. Chelsea going there to beat them, but 1 goes to me.
Yeah, it was. I think that game was. I think I should say, in my own opinion, it was one of the Chelsea's best performances. I watched the game, and
he's one of their best. Yes, I understand where you're coming from. But looking at Chelsea and looking at the forwards, I saw Gittins coming in and missing that golden opportunity. And also, Joao Pedro missing many.
I think, yeah. But it was even shocking because Joao Pedro, before that Tottenham game, I think he rarely gets that kind of opportunity. If you look the last 5 or 6 games,
he hasn't gotten
that kind of opportunity.
But you getting it, he would have scored a hat-trick.
Would have gotten a hat-trick easily, very comfortably,
very easily.
But
even the one he missed before they scored that goal, it was on the second half. That in fact, CBN
had ample opportunity.
I have seen that Chelsea has a very rare gem in Estefo. Estefo is a player that the young man is not playing like 18-year-old player.
He's not playing like an 18-year-old player because when he came in, it was when he came in that they got all the chances.
Yes.
Very clear scoring chances. Gittins skyrocketed his own, and then Pedro had to keep out to stop. So these are like opportunities that they should have taken. Thank
God to them that Tottenham we are very low that very day.
They were
very low that
day. It's still we should not take we should not take it away from Chelsea that they played well that very day. And kudos to Caicedo. Yes. Is a rare gem. I think, to me, Caicedo is one of the best midfielders in the whole world right now, currently.
Yes, definitely.
Because in that game, that goal they scored, he took it upon himself and made sure that this ball has to end in the
I think if there's an award of the best assist in the Premier League or in Europe, I think that one we're going to win it.
Yeah, it's up there.
He really battled and really pushed for it.
Yes.
Okay, Liverpool now had to start their winning ways in the Premier League up against Aston Villa, beating them 2-0. Right there at Anfield.
Yeah, it was needed. They really needed to get that 3 points. They needed to. They needed that little fresh breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
Because they've had series of losses, and if they had lost that game against Aston Villa, it would have been very difficult for them to even find a way and cope. But somehow they defeated Aston Villa. Salah again, I think it helps his momentum. It's an encouragement for him, and it's a motivation kind of for him, because he really needed that motivation at this time because of his poor form. So it was good for.
But you never rooted for them to win that game.
Yeah, I never did, because judging from their performances in the last 5 games in the Premier League, of course, I think I should be forgiven for saying that Aston Villa were going to beat them.
Yes, okay, you're right. Then West Ham came around. That West Ham game at the London Stadium against Newcastle really got me. I was shocked. Seriously, for real, I was shocked. Because when Newcastle started, when Newcastle opened the lead, I was like, oh wow, no, it's not really busy for West Ham here anymore. But West Ham turning back, beating them by 3-1.
Yeah, somehow they came back into the game. I think West Ham, they are another team that actually needed that 3 points.
And no, they started understanding Nuno's tactics.
Yes. When you look at, I'm sorry to mention him at this point. When you look at Angel's situation in Nottingham Forest when he was there, and the Nuno's situation in West Ham, when you look at the both teams, you will understand that West Ham team, Nuno's West Ham, was always the one that looked likely to come back and maybe solve their problem. So for them to beat Newcastle, I think it's something that so much needed in the club because of the situation they were in. So, and Newcastle coming there to lose the 3 points again, I'm very sure they will be asking themselves how on earth they were able to allow
such a defeat.
To beat them.
Okay. Now City had to beat Bournemouth. We never expected this, but it ended 3-1.
Yeah, we thought it was going to be a very close context, but no.
No, City, priority of City.
Yeah, City
and again, Elhanan coming back from injury and
Yeah.
Doing the what he does best. And we expected it.
Yeah,
but we never.
we expected
But I don't
it,
know what is really giving this guy this energy. Elhanan had this energy that unless the opportunity don't present itself, this guy will keep banging goals.
Yeah,
even if he's 10 out of 10, this guy will skip.
Yes, and that's I think that makes you a true striker. When you get opportunity, if you get 3, make sure you score two out of 3. Most strikers, just like we mentioned Joao Pedro before, he got 3 opportunities.
I only scored 1.
Scored only one out of the 3. But Haaland would have easily scored the 3 of them.
Very easy.
That's different between Erling Haaland and most other strikers.
Okay, we understand. We can as well say that Pedro is not an outright striker. But
yeah,
even at that,
it's not at that level with Haaland.
You can't compare. Everton going to Sunderland. Sunderland have been flying high, this season. Everton going there to get a draw against Sunderland. No, Everton were leading, but at the end of the day, Sunderland by Shaka, who scored that goal, and they equalized. And these guys are in top 4. These guys are pushing, really pushing.
They're really pushing. They're really pushing. We saw what they did against Chelsea, and when you see a team play the way they played and against a big team,
yes,
you will just understand that they are not there for jokes. They are not here to play. So it's playing against Everton and getting 1 point. It's a very huge and important point for them.
And
Everton themselves are doing well.
I'm not seeing them going on relegation this season.
No. They're not. They might not go for. They might not qualify for Champions League
or even Europa
or Conference League, but definitely they're going to stay up.
Okay, viewers. This is what really transpired right there at the Premier League last weekend, and we have rolled out what really transpired there, and we saw many teams, we expected to lose, and which they did. And at the end of the day, that's the Premier League match day 10, and we'll be expecting the match day 11 this weekend, right there in England, and we'll be back by Friday to be able to now dish out what to expect this weekend. Thank you for staying with us, and we'll be back.